Okay, rolling, go ahead.
So you're asking me really how I got my life back from my father. I had really to recognize I was innerly in a kind of child state. And what this meant, or what this means is I was needy, I was not able to let go of the stuff from the past. I still wanted in a way. So there was really every trigger what came in activated it again, and I got back immediately in the same feelings and emotions. And I was really unhappy about it. So I recognized I have to change something. I mean, there is a certain age where you cannot do the same thing. I mean, I'm a woman over 50. You want to be an adult. You want to live your life. I want to live my life. And so what was really good, I find, it's called possibility management. So I was able to find certain kind of possibilities how I can access my feelings, because I had no idea this is all this old feelings in me who are still activated and never transformed, and I had to find a way out of it. And there was really helping to get clarity about there are 4 feelings. You have anger, you have sadness, you have fear, you have joy. And these are kind of territories, and you learn to access them. And so I got the distinctions in a way, and I was able to understand, okay, this is from the past, this is in the now, and this is what I want maybe for my future. And I don't want to go to my parents' house and visit him now as an adult woman and still act like a girl. So no way. And I was not able to do this. So my father says something, and I was immediately triggered. And I basically was only able to take the fight. In the past, my survival feeling was getting angry.
Can you give us an example of a fight?
Yeah, my father would say something about you're a bad mother, for example. And I would be totally hurt, would immediately go into old feelings like when I was 15, and would start really to blame him back. Would take really fight with him, and I see already my mother's face is falling down because she said, oh fuck, there it is again. They two were fighting with each other. So it was a kind of hate relationship, and still can be. So I recognized he will not change. So I have to change. Mm-hmm. It's my life, right? It's my life, and it's like you shifting I shifted out in a new identity, and for sure to be able to shift out of the identity, I need really a certain kind of distinction how I can access these feelings. And what I'm doing with these feelings, when these emotions, these old feelings coming, what I'm doing with it. So when I not want to go fighting. So really in trainings I learned to access my 4 feelings, also these territories, and started really with Rage Club, or going in a training where you learn really to access your anger, and recognizing anger as a useful tool. Because I was frustrated. People said, oh, you're an angry person. I mean, it's really frustrating when somebody says you're an angry person, because I don't want to be an angry person. I want also to be a loving person who has connection than other people. But this was my go-to feeling, my survival strategy, in a way, to go in anger. And so I learned to access anger and using really for clarity. So now, for example, I can see when my father is coming and says this kind of trigger sentence, I know it already ahead. I know it ahead. So I'm taking responsibility. I mostly don't take a fight anymore. It was funny, it's the last time where I really consciously decided he put his thing in the middle of the space, and I was sitting there and I was saying, oh, I don't have to react to it. I have not to do anything. I have not to leave. I have not to say something. I don't have anything to do with it. It's not mine, basically. But this was a long way to go there and to say, oh, it's not mine, because I'm living now my life. So this is really important. Yeah. And what I recognized still in me was something where I want revenge. It was okay, I learned now is accessing my anger and my feelings. I become really an adult, basically. I become really adult. This is like going through an initiation, and now I can do it and I can be an adult, but there was still a piece in me where I was really like, you're holding on to it. You're holding on to your anger. Also I holding on to my anger and don't want to give it up. It's like I have a right to be angry still. And I give it you back all the time because you was not a nice father. And I think this is why I'm speaking also now in this interview, because I don't want other women going so long through the same process, because I hurt myself, and I recognized this a few months ago. I don't feel good to hold on to this resentment piece. There is nothing anymore to do than really to say, okay, people don't know what is gremlin, but there is a part in me who want to take love's revenge. And this part I don't want to allow anymore. It's like, okay, I took my life back from my father, but now I want also really took my life back from gremlin and dark sides in me where I'm still using basically my father now. It has nothing to do anymore with him, because really I use him, and I recognize this during the process, in these trainings, what I talked about it. There was a process called growing up process, and this was the first time where I recognized I decided really to use the same strategy than he did in his life. And
Can you speak about that? What is the strategy?
yeah, his strategy was in a way to disappear. Also he was not really active in this family life. My mother was responsible for the 4 children and everything what is in the house, a typical patriarchal culture picture, and he went out, had his job, but he went not out only for his job. He did really also, he was active in the city hall. He was really in the town where I was growing up, actively in the social party. So he did his things. In a way, he did his things. He didn't decide to become a kind of victim. And I recognized I was the same in a way, because I decided already with 18 to move out and living a different life and doing really what I want to do. I never worked really for a corporation. I was always self-employed. So I recognized, oh my God, I have here also qualities of him. So I got also, in a way, a role model from him. And I think this was one of the reasons why it was also so hurting, not to get what I want. This child needy thing, want so much his love. But he was, I think slowly I get he was not able to express his love. Maybe he expressed his love and I was not able to understand what is. It never came decoded basically in me. I didn't feel this. Yeah, so.
Can you talk more about your shift of identity? You started saying I had to shift identity. What was that process?
The process to shift the identity was really to understand, also getting conscious about it. So first I had really to understand consciously I'm still this child. And then I had to do really actively working on my feelings. Also I did rage clubs, I went to trainings they call possibility labs, where you really get initiation in your feelings. And
What are the feelings?
the four feelings, and you make a personal process, because often you have maybe the wish already to do this, but still there are things in who hold you back, like all decisions. One old decision was I'm too small, or I am a very important one, and I discovered this one as this last springtime was. There was a situation where my father was overwhelmed to deal with the situation, and he sent us in a room and said, you cannot speak about it. What it's made in me was, yeah, but I want to speak about it, so I basically made a decision in order not to speak. I'm dumb, and I'm shutting my feelings down. So when I shut my feelings down and play dumb, then basically I can survive. Then I closed it basically innerly, and I recognized this was still happening in me. So there are certain process where you can really get on it. As you will get consciousness about, oh, this is all decision, I can make a new decision now, because I'm an adult, right? And I recognized also I give up my center in a way to everybody who is like my dad. Like he's a hero, he's a role model, he's an authority, so I will give automatically my center to this person, and for sure not speak. So for sure he's saying this, then this has to be true. So it's a kind of tricky situation, and you have to really to understand this is, I made this decision, so I can make a new decision. It has nothing to do anymore with my father. So
Can you speak into what is the identity that you shifted into? What's your new identity that makes you not being hooked by your father anymore?
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question? Yeah.
The new identity where I shift to, so in order not to be hookable anymore for my father, is really, I know I'm an adult woman. I'm an adult woman. I have a task also for this life. This was very important. My children are grown up, they're living their life now, and I'm free to really to bring this in the world, what I want to bring in the world. So really supporting other people in this, encouraging people in their way to become an adult, for example. So this is a really identity shift. Not to think anymore about permanently on the old stuff. Not questioning, I need, somebody has to tell me I'm lovable. No, I know. I know I'm lovable. So I don't have to wait a man is saying it to me. This is very important. Yeah, this was a big identity shift for me, to make this really and let this needy girl go. Yeah. Also,
Would you ask the question again? Sure.
How did you get your life back from your father?
I mean, you get your life back from your father. I got my life back from my father because I did also really a basic decision. I want my life back. Because all what I said so far can only work when I decide I want my life back. And this is most important. Because otherwise nobody can support you in this way when you are not deciding you want to do it, and you will do it. Not only want, you will do it.
Nobody can do it for you.
Right, I have to do it. This is very important. And I see often women still waiting, somebody is saying, please do it. No, it's not working. It's like, this is where you have to use your anger.
Would you just pause and we'll let the car go?
I think they're in the parking lot.
Wait, let's wait a second. Maybe going through. Yeah. Can I ask you a different question, or you want to answer that one?
No.
So what would you tell women who, they just realized that they are still in this old pattern with their father? What could they do now? Yes, you talked about, the labs and being aware of your feelings, but what can they do now? What would you be?
Immediately, directly.
Yeah, and like sort of in the next few days, in the next week, or can you repeat the question? I think.
Yeah. So you asked me what a woman can do directly now, not to wait basically too long, but what she immediately can do in order to take her life back.
Yeah. From her father. Yeah.
From her father.
Yeah.
I think the willingness really to feel, maybe to write really down, immediately write down in every situation, there I'm child, there a woman. To see really, it's like you make a map from your situation where you are. Also get really consciousness where you're doing it in every moment. Also I recognize this today. Somebody said to me, if you are not speaking back to the person who spoke with you, I recognize I have this patriarchal piece in me still. I know there was a situation where Clinton you spoke, and I was answering Clinton, and I said, there it is. I'm still in the patriarchal culture. I'm still want to give my sender to him. So this is what you can immediately do. So you can build really a lot of muscles in consciousness for where I'm doing it, really in everyday situation.
Yeah, and even with your boss or your friends or
Right. How you cook with each other.
Yeah.
I recognizing here on the place, we're cooking with each other. When I do rescue, when I do this, the woman can see it immediately when I'm going as a child or I'm really adult woman. I have my power. I speak up when something is to speak up. Or I don't speak up. There it is. Right? And then also the next step, what you can also start to go inside and look what is this feeling behind. It's a big step. Observing is the first step, but you can already sense your feeling behind. This you can start immediately to train without any training. So you get a little bit clarity where you're at. Yeah.
How did you get your life back from your father?
Can you say it slow and land it in her?
How did you get your life back from your father?
The most important was really, I want to live my life. I want to live my life. So if you have this longing in you, you want to live your life, and you are brave enough to do it, then you have to start wherever you start. It starts where you're at. So this is what I did. I started really piece by piece. I was thinking 10 years ago, basically, not 10 years ago, but 7 years ago when I did rage work, basically actively rage work, I was thinking, I did it. And then I recognized, no, I'm not there. So it goes step by step, because to trust, you learn also, you get your life back also to trust your process. I think the universe works, it gives you offers. It's like you open a door and the universe gives you can go through it. Also there will be always something in your life where you can go through the door. And this is how it was for me, for sure.
Can you give examples of like?
3 years ago I separated from my partner. And I was devastated. I was thinking it's a big love and it was hurting. Nothing in my life hurted like this. It was like somebody rips the heart out of me. And in this pain of this heart, I recognized, no, this was this old longing for, he has to love me like my dad has to. Also, I projected basically my not feeling love from my father to my husband. And when I recognized this, then I was able to breathe through it. It was like, oh my God, it's like an addiction. It has nothing to do with love. It was like really getting a reality check, what is love and what is not love. And I knew, okay, I'm bigger than this pain or this projection feeling. And so I had really to stick with it. And it went long. It went really for months. But it got less and less and less. And then, in my case, in the second year after the separation, I recognized I'm doing good. I'm totally doing good alone. So this is why I now can say, it has nothing to do anymore with reality. It's total childish. It has nothing to do with reality. And it's like also I got respect for myself. Also there is a piece in it where it's like integrity for myself. It's respect and integrity, and it feels so different. And this was very empowering because now I feel I can really do what I want to do. I did it already before, but it's like when you go, you give gas, but there is still a brake, and one foot is all the time on the brake. And now I have the feeling I give gas, and I give really gas. It's like, yeah, we're going. Yeah.
Cool. So can you tell us about the process that you will do in a couple days, about sort of closing this chapter of your life, or wrapping the process?
Wrapping the process is, my father is still living, but to be really in the new identity, so I will do a ritual in 2 days, and it's like creating a funnel for the old child part. So there will be really a picture and maybe something what I want to write down, and taking really earth out and making a ritual, also a funnel ritual. And there I can speak with this part from my father, what I was still waiting. I can speak with this part of my father and saying, it's good, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need this anymore, and I can put it now in the ground. And I can really take the chain in my hand, basically, and put this entity who still tells me I'm a poor girl. No, I can say, this is not anymore available. I'm really decided. My new decision is really, I live my life. I have a new identity, and I can put really the old picture of my father identity really to the ground. It's done.
It's done.
It's done. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add?
Not really. It feels. I think if you are really curious about it, how it works, go on the website.
Call me up.
Call me up.
Do you want to say what the website is?
It's possibilitymanagement.org, and there you find a lot of context about trainers, how it works. Yeah, it's all there.
Super.
Great.